Again podcast. Let's meet again on that podcast. Talk about what's hot, what's not, what's in, what's out, what's happening around the block. You know, Again Podcast by Brian Smith.
Again and again, once again, welcome to the Again Podcast with me, Mr. Smith. Today, guys, I brought you a business preacher. This guy, he's my uncle, brother, he's my support system. I learned a lot from him. He's basically me in the next futures. Murut, Mr.
Busy,
How are
Mr.
you?
CEO. I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. You know, it's funny we call each other CEO, Mr. Chairman. I was with Tico the other day, we were calling us the CEO and all that.
No, we are speaking life.
Yeah.
We're speaking life to one another. You know, people are so used to speaking negative to a point whereby negative becomes part of them. So just speak life to someone else and that life will materialize one day.
Yeah. And I want you to tell the people who you are and what exactly do you do. All the hats that you wear. Everything.
Okay. Again, it's Again podcast.
Yes.
So again, let me greet the viewers. It's a privilege to be here. If I was at church, I was gonna say, I greet you all in the name of Jesus, amen. But it's fine, I'm not at church. So I'm Kagiso, Louis Rasogo. Louis is my first name, so most of the formal things that I do, they call me Louis. KG. Yeah, so even my stage name, Minister KG. Yeah, I'm a pastor, I'm a parent, I'm a lover. Yeah, so I'm a business person and I'm a business coach. I'm trying to think all of them. I'm also a musician. I think there's more like it. I'm a family guy. Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah. Please tell me, your earliest childhood memory. You feel that memory actually shaped you to be who you are today.
Okay, you won't believe me, né? It was to respect parents, to respect your elders. But this time it was on my brother's side. I would tell. So what happened? That's what I'm saying, you won't believe me. Obviously the viewers won't believe me too. So we were playing. The big one. We were playing Morabarab. So I'm holding. No, he's using sticks. I'm using caps. Panic. So we are busy playing, and then I'm angry that he's beating me because I'm younger than him and all that. So I just tossed all those sticks away. A sound came. A sound came, and it was like with a loud sound, bass, like wow. Bruh, like I looked left and right, there was nothing. My brother also got scared. We rushed to the house. We were still living in a shack. We rushed to the house. When we got to the house, my sister was there. The door literally closed itself, and then it was just divine interventions for my brother's sake. Let me not go deeper and deeper with the story. But what I learned, it was that the verse that says do not touch the servants of God was real. Yeah. This time it was on my brother. My brother is a man of God, a very close to God kind of person. He does not fight. So he get fought for by God. You understand? Yeah. So we just got in the house. We just spoke in different tongues. It was just a holy but scary moment, you know? Yeah. People appearing, and it was just divine. It was just a moment of divinity. Yeah. So after that, I just learned to respect big people, or to respect my parents, or to respect elderlies, and mostly everyone. So I learned respect from a young age. That's my childhood memory that I don't forget.
So I guess that's where the love of music and the passion of music started for you.
Okay, with music, yeah, it's a bit different. Like my sister is a singer.
Yeah.
My mother was a singer. My late mother. Um, my brother is a singer. So they would be singing every evening, Kontlung, and we'll be having prayers. And when I would be trying to sing, I would be catching everybody's voices. So, and I was bad. Like, I was really bad. So they were always laughing at me. Hey, Oscar, you know? But then when I got to high school, and that's where we started meeting the Pastor Teho, and the other guys. We started forming a group. It was called G.com. We started practicing and stuff. And then I learned, okay, so you can practice and be perfect on something, you know? So in high school, that's where the love, or that's where the skill or the craft sharpened itself. But the love was always there because they were always singing at home. Yeah.
It's really going to. And I think they say, yeah, iron sharpens iron.
Exactly.
reflection
That's
of it.
that's really what happened with me. Like I was just, hey, nigga, khala yun. Nere ba pala bege. Eish, mara, ke sa kgone go deliver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have a gospel album, I think a couple of them, gospel albums, gospel songs, and all that. The journey of being a gospel musician. I'm not singing for passion now. This I'm moving it to commercial,
Yeah.
sharing it to the people. The journey throughout it. Take us through the journey.
Okay, the journey started there, like I was saying at HF. We tried to do a single, and then after the single, me and Tseho and Tapelo Mabazo, we did something, and it didn't work out. Then we had a group. It was called Voice of Victory. That was when we did our first recording. We traveled with the album, went to Durban and all that. It was nice. Days of your youth, traveling, singing, and all that. And then later on, I went solo, did a recording. But I haven't done a live recording as yet. It was just studio recordings. But I've been doing shows, live shows, like gatherings. I call them the worship gathering. I had one 2018 when my daughter Sharabel was born.
Yes.
And then the other one I had it 2023
Yes.
when my son Kanya was born. So no, the other one I'm not having it when the other kid is born. I'm still posting on baby making.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll have a gathering soon. But throughout the journey, I learned something that we love to say people in the gospel space are not supportive, but it's a lie. We are not pushing enough, you know. We always give God this miracle too much of administration. We're giving it to God. We're expecting God to go around selling tickets for you, expecting God to go around inviting people to your show while you are still there. And you look at the commercial or the your amapiano and house music, how they do it. Those guys will be pushing the marketing like crazy.
Crazy.
You know, so for us gospel artists, I believe we can still do more.
Yeah.
If we can, like you said, we are moving to commercial. If we can know when it's time for worshiping God at church and when it's time to doing music business. You know?
Yes.
So I always respected that part of doing the music business. Hence, most of my shows, they were all doing well, you know. The gathering for 2023, it was beautiful. It was almost full house, but it was a beautiful event, you know. So, yeah, I think that was more about that. So that's the journey. But the encouragement will be let us not give God the administration part. Let's do the administration part.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should put in the work. And
Exactly.
basically, what I really want to know is that is there money more gospel music?
There's money. Like, there's money. It's just that the tricky part is, you know, in the other kind of music, those guys get booked.
Yes.
So they get bookings, like you'll be getting the guys maybe performing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's very rare for a gospel artist to do that. Most likely because we use band.
Yes.
And band is expensive. So the DJs, you're just using your stick. And then you play your music, your beautiful music, you invoice, you go. But with us, it's a band, it's administration, practices, rehearsals, and stuff. So there's money, but there's no same money if there's such English. The money is not the same with those kind or the other kind of genres.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as a gospel musician, besides performance, what other revenues can you look at to actually make income? To pull sources of income to yourself, because you have to eat at the end of the day. Yes, you're saying you're not being booked throughout the whole week. Maybe you are booked once a week or once a month.
Once a month,
yes.
Yeah, it happens.
So, other revenues that you can generate money?
I believe merchandise. Do your own merchandise. Just do the business preacher or minister KG. Sell the t-shirts, man.
And people buy.
People buy. If people love you, people will buy your stuff. Do caps, do like track pants, sweatpants, the school bag. Just be creative. Sell the merchandise. And make money.
You're not only a musician, but you're also a business coach. I love the fact that the Mind Your Business is coming out right now. The love of coaching, the love of talking to people, the stage presence, public speaking, where did it grow? Who inspired it, and the passion behind it?
Okay, public speaking. There was this other gentleman. He's passed. It's Mr. Rapo. Yeah, Tapelo. Most of the guys know him around. He was in the business enterprise space. So we attended this course, NIDA. So he was speaking about public speaking. So when we were there, he was teaching us how to speak on a public space. What to say, what not to say. The jokes you have to make, the jokes you don't have to make. Sometimes you'll be joking about someone's hair, not knowing that it's a calling, like in Bizoya, and then that person is an investor, a potential investor. Then you chase away the potential investor, or you speak about somebody's body. You are not aware that for them, the recipient is thinking you are body shaming. You understand? So he was teaching us all those nuggets, the jokes you make, the jokes you're not making, how to read the room, how to read the mood. So I learned a lot from there, but from my side, I believe I exercised that a lot when I was a youth teacher or a youth pastor at Shakaina. I did a lot of training. I did a lot of coaching there. I did a lot of preaching to the youth and all that. So I started developing public speaking there. You understand? And then for the business coaching part, from 2013, we were busy looking for funding. So we were going different institutions. And then we met this guy called Mosereme, the business coach. So he was working in this other institution, and then when we got there, he started teaching us, no, this is not how you do things. This is how you do things. This is not how to do. And then I started nagging him, like, please, man, mentor me. Please, man, mentor me, Up until 2018, he had a show in Rustenburg. He couldn't attend. He was doing exhibitions. So he called me, Champ, coach, can you go and handle this exhibition, stack, assistant and all that, do administration, run around for me? I'm not there. I did that. And then 2019, he told me, man, I got a big gig in Rustenburg. I'll be doing trainings for this big company. So come, let's work together. Then we worked together. One time I was doing administration. One time there was no coach for the day. He was not there. His guys were not there, the trustees. And he called me, hey, champ, we're gonna stress. There's no one who's teaching tomorrow. I was like, why, coach? Then, no, Majita, yo, the guys are not there and all that. I'm not around. I'm in Cape Town, a big gig this side. So I was like, send me the manual, let me go through it. Sending me the manual, I went through it. Then I said, coach, these things I can do them. And then I ran the first class, and then second class, third class, he was present. He came back, he was present. And I was like, Amos, you can do this thing with you know. So then I started 2019 with him doing the trainings. 2020, 2021, 22 COVID times. It was pause, open and pause. Then 22, 23, 24, we were still doing the trainings, business coaching, you know. So when you do something more and more, you grow in it, in the space. So I believe my public speaking also sharpened then, and then my business coaching also sharpened then. So I learned how to deal with business cases. I learned how to advise people more in an intense way, you know, because we'll be doing mentorships, we'll be having a case study of somebody coming with a case, and then you have to study it, give reference, give directions, you know, and resolve the case. So that's how my business journey took off of public speaking and business coaching.
And what are the most biggest challenges that you face? Because I know dealing with people is a problem. These guys are your customers. These guys are your clients. These guys are your suppliers. Yet you are coaching them. So the biggest challenges that you face.
Okay, the biggest of them all is people don't understand enterprise development, ne? And supplier development. It's not how do I put it? It's not us saying we are giving you a job, you know, or a tender. We are just preparing you to be ready to apply for yourself and to source opportunities for yourself. You understand? Yes. So you'll be working for the big institution. Just because you have been contracted by a big institution, somebody thinks because they went through the training, they deserve the tender. A job will come to them on the doorstep, you know. So that has been a crisis, and people will be saying, I'm not trainer. You guys are training us, and then what? You know? And then you're asking them, but guys, we've been throwing in opportunities. There have been RFIs to apply for. There have been RFTs, RFPs, all these RFQs. Why are you not taking part in it? Because I'm here, you can tell me, KG, I'm struggling here and here. How do I go about it? But our people, you understand. Now I want the tender on the place. So that's the biggest challenge I want. Like others, that's just the biggest one.
And then, as a business coach, let me explain what is the difference between being a businessman, an entrepreneur, and a tenderpreneurship. Which is very important. I think that's the reason why I called you today.
Okay. Now, do that in a minute. A business person, it's somebody who makes money. You sell and make profit. You are a business person. What's the other one? The entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur.
Okay. An entrepreneur, it's somebody who innovates. You come with an innovation. An entrepreneur gets in the space like this and then looks around and then notices, okay, I can make a change there by bringing a product. Then they develop a product. They pioneer a product. Remember, businessmen don't pioneer anything. They just buy the laptop for 3,000, sell it for 4.5, 1.5 profit. But then entrepreneur comes and look at the laptop and say, how are you going to go home with this? In a safe way. Oh, how about we fold it 4 times and then we do something like a briefcase? You know, that's an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur gets in a space and then checks, man. How about there's something so splash, you know? There's an entrepreneur. And then lastly, what was the last one?
Entrepreneur, businessman, tenderpreneur.
That one is easy. Just find connections, my friend. Look for connections, look for relevant people in relevant places, and then more connect, more plug. But that's dangerous because You know the problem with connections, when the connections are broken and the network is broken, now you'll suffer.
Yeah.
Because most of the tender guys, they don't take the money, the 50,000 profit, and then buy a car and send it. It's a bond and make them money. No, they eat the 50,000 because they were given like J on the hand. You understand? So, but being a tenderpreneur, it can be useful when you take the money, take it either to entrepreneurship or to business ship, if there's such English.
Yeah.
Remember, the first one is business, entrepreneurship, and then tenderpreneurship. Yeah. So take it to these two ships.
Yeah.
Either the business ship or the or the entrepreneurship. Don't eat the money in the tender, because mostly it's like the lucky spin. It comes once.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get the tenders for 100 years, my friend.
Yeah.
So when they come, use them wisely
Uh,
in those two spaces.
and then in the space of tenderpreneurship, there's this thing, brown envelope.
Yeah.
The swag, where you need brown envelope. Is it really true? Or
You know what?
brown envelope?
You know what,
You're not gonna get it.
But it's a system. Nah? Systems that are in place, they govern us. You know? There's a system in place, it's called majority rules. The majority rule system governs us. There's a system in place, it's called mob justice. Mob justice governs us. If you don't gonna run away when the mob comes, you're gonna be killed.
You're gonna be justice.
Exactly. You know, even if you are not wrong.
Yeah.
You know that. So even brown envelope is a system. So if you get in a space whereby that system is being used, unfortunately, it's hard to penetrate without a system. I don't know about brown envelope. I don't use brown envelope, man. I use grace. I'm a pastor.
Yeah.
But when you get to that system, yeah, you think twice. Yeah. But it's a system.
Because you know, some people will come and tell you, motivational speakers will tell us, for guys, you need to work harder, you need to, but knowing that there was somebody who actually opened the door for you, knowing that there was an under exchange brown envelope here and there. So
Yeah, I get you, but not always. If I buy water, if I get Namo the cross on Safa Stadium and sell water, was there brown envelope there? You understand?
Yeah.
So we love to, I believe these other things, they are there to pull us back as people. I'm not gonna say as black people. There are a lot of people who doing these things, any color, any race, but these things are there to pull us back, and we are not aware. You understand? Once you put a name tag on why shouldn't things be made done, or why aren't things possible, then you must know that you just pulled yourself back. You pulled yourself back. But anything can happen. You can get in a place whereby a brown envelope is being used or utilized. But by the grace of God and by you being in the right place at the right time, you find that all those people by the brown envelope, they are late. Only you are on time. And you submitted. And it's only you who's going to get the tender. You're going to get the tender.
Yeah.
So we can't be busy now putting excuses about the brown envelope and stuff. No. If you find a system that you don't agree with it, move and go to other institutions. There's a lot of institutions to make business in. If those systems also are datified, do business the right way. Make a product, sell a product. That's all.
Yeah. And then there are young upcoming entrepreneurs then. What advice would you tell a startup?
Sorry.
Like, I have this idea, I got like funds in the first basic advices that you guys give.
Bootstrapping is the way to go. Use the little that is there to start.
Yeah.
The little that is there. If you have an iPhone, you want to start the business for the cosmetics, business for beauty and stuff, sell the iPhone and then start your business. Use a lesser phone And then when the business grows, if your idea is right, you'll manage to buy that iPhone again. So don't go around and say people are not funding me. This institution is not giving me funds. Check what to sell in your own house. If you can't, again, ask for something, or whenever you get a little that you can get, buy a product, sell a product, grow the money until you can start yourself. Bootstrap. And don't have an excuse. Like I was saying, don't ever have an excuse. Because once you start your business with excuses, my friend, for the rest of your business journey, you'll be always having an excuse why not to do it, or why can't it be done.
And you're also a businessman. You have your business that you are running.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the fundamental one that I know for a bread and butter.
Yeah.
You have a food store.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
yeah, well.
I want you to take me through the first 90 days. Your food store,
When we started.
When you started, what happened?
Those were the pizza days, my friend.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was nice, There's this saying that I learned, né? There's this saying that I learned in business. It's called beginner's luck.
Yeah.
When you start selling a product and you see a product running like this, you're thinking, wow, my product is running.
Projection, see, years from now,
it's beginner's luck. You are just the world is just favoring you. That in this journey of yours, start push. So that's what happened. But unfortunately, I started my shop, the Spot Eatery, just before or on the verge of COVID. Then just after I opened, COVID hit. I had to close. I had to distribute the stock. It was close to 4,000 to 5,000 of stock. Distributed it, So how I do it, because the president said no selling,
Yeah.
And then after that, I had to look for money to buy stock again, So I think I closed my shop 3 times.
Yeah.
I closed my shop 3 times because I have a passion in engineering, not in food, Food, I can make good food, but that's not what I'm called for.
That's not your identity.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then my partner is called for food. Then when she said she wanna take over, I said no, it's fine. Now you can take over. We're not gonna close, because I was always saying let me hire out the place up until then I can look for, maybe I can have a spare 6 months whereby I can grow the shop and then look for workers and all that. But then she took over the store, but now it's doing okay. Yeah. It's under her, like everything is under her.
She runs
handed it over.
everything.
No, it's hers. Like I resigned totally. Yeah, I just go there to help. Normally after my 5-6 o'clock when it's late. But I'm working for her for free, by the way. So yeah, I'm focusing on engineering, civil engineering, engineering supplies, and a little bit of business consulting. I want to venture into that space, But later on, I'll be going full-time ministry. So hence, I don't want a lot of things on my plate right now. Yeah.
Yeah. You also have a background in media, right? There was a point where you and I did something. I was talking to Tiro about it the other day.
Yeah.
We started up a business. We started a magazine.
Yeah.
We sat down. We did the magazine, and this thing, I think it was when 2018, pre-COVID. There was a way they clinics, I understand it. That day, till this day, I'm surprised for companies like Busasa, Cross Trainers, and recently Drip. They go through such things.
Yeah,
But liquidation.
exactly.
I didn't understand that. We pumped money, hoping for it's gonna work. It didn't really work. So I want us to talk a little liquidation and actually losing a business.
I was happy when you told me you're busy with this podcast thing. I was like, at least the Mr. CEO is reviving the media days, you know. It was nice back then, but one of the things that killed us, it was the shifting of the industrial revolutions, you know, from the third IR to the fourth IR. Remember, everything was going from print media to digitalization, you know. So we already printed a lot of copies, having to distribute them. And now these things, and now digital is getting there and all that. So it was just tough, but we had to just swallow the hot cold. But then talking about liquidation, I think, or losing a business, I think some of the spaces that we go through is for God to toughen us. You know? And once you pass the stage, I always tell people that stages of life or challenges of life is like playing a video game. Yeah? When you play a video game, for example, your Super Mario's and stuff, there's stages, you know? There's a first stage, second stage, third stage, fourth stage. And at the end of each stage, there's a boss you have to kill and conquer, you know? So you can't go to stage 2 without killing the boss of stage 1. That's the funny part of life. So when people laugh at you because you passed stage 1, they don't know that they have to pass stage 1. When you're already on stage 4. You know, even though you are on stage 4 on 0, but the experiences of stage 2, stage 3, stage 2, stage 1, you have them in your pocket. Or you bang them already. Once an opportunity shows up or arises, you'll be the first one to get it because you have the experience of life, you know. So I believe losing a business is something like that. It's something that you swallow and you accept, just like stage that you already conquered. In life, it appears as if you're lost, but spiritually you have conquered. Because you already know losing, the part of losing, you won't go through it again. Or if you go through it, it won't be as painful as before. You know, when people chastise little children, they always tell them that don't beat your child too much. Because once they get used to the pain, it won't be necessary anymore. They can just get away with it and mama throw sharp. You know, so there's also losing a business. You have went through the pain, but you already conquered that stage.
And in terms of liquidations, losing businesses and all that, I think we should remember, I think the COVID-19 also pulled a huge part on it. And my question, how do we recover from such things?
Treat it like you're starting afresh. Forget about COVID-19. just let it be like you're opening a business from scratch and then run with it.
Like you said, you know, you have to start somewhere. You've got experience and
because most of the people even now, they're still you're asking them, why are you not working? COVID-19, why is your business with COVID-19? But I mean, like, it's 2025 now, 19, 20, 26 years already. You know, so let's just you need to close the chapter. You know, let it be like that toxic relationship. You're closing a chapter, you're getting into a new relationship, then you run. It's gonna take long because you would have lost business leads, business, you know, relations, business networks, but then you'll eventually get there.
I want us to talk about the impacts that the businesses and the modern day of business. So I'd like Kitso Molefe to join and
we get to
the conversation like thoroughly, because I need both of your minds on this one. Especially for the young ones who are watching this. Kitso, could you please join us? I want the young minds bar level and say, okay, this is what we do, this is what we're going through. Then, Ramolef. What's in it?
No complaints.
Once again, welcome to the AgainPodcast. We're not going to regular. Mr. Molefe, we've been talking liquidations, small businesses, and all that. I want us to shift a little bit. The new modern way of doing business.
Yeah.
I think everything has turned digital so much. Like we spoke a magazine, I don't know how we lost the magazine
Exactly.
through liquidation because of we went from analog to digital and all that.
Yeah.
So I want us to talk about the key fundamentals start studying a modern businesses. Or what should you start thinking about when you say I'm studying a business? Because I still go to in the olden days.
The most important thing that I can say is you need to establish what is your value proposition. Your value proposition will determine how you channel or you interact with your clients. That's the most important thing, because you establish your value proposition to say, this is what I'm selling. Now, because I'm selling this, these are the channels that I'm using in order for me gore ke kgona go producer or my end user a kgona a feletsa a kry-ile the end result of whatever product or services that you do. So the most important thing that you do and consider when doing business is always consider your value proposition. It's going to channel you. Remember, some businesses will rely solely or will require AI. Some businesses don't require AI. Because why? Maybe you are a business that requires personal touch to what you do. So determining your value proposition and also determining your market as in a broader way, it makes it perfectly easy for an or understand that to say what form of deliverance do you gonna need, what form of channels you're gonna need to end up or interact your clientele, if I may put it like that. Yeah.
And then preacher, on the same note, I want you to add, let's speak 10 to 20 years from now. How would the mode or the model of business be looking?
Okay, before I go there, let me just touch on what he said. He said very good points, no? I just want to add on due diligence. He said something very profound, that not all kind of business will need AI.
Yeah.
You know, so after you do your due diligence, it is then that you can decide to go digital or not. Others don't go. You can't play football digital. You have to get to the football ground and play. You know, so let's not jump into business like haphazardly. Do your research. Take time. You can take 6 months or a year doing due diligence, research, and check where is it going. You can easily check the trade where your business that you want to venture it is going, and then you can then decide. You understand? So looking at business 10 years is a bit tough because South Africa is behind.
Yeah.
You know, I think we are claiming that we are in the 5th industrial revolution, but I think we're still in the 4th or the 3rd. You look at China, you look at Japan, Hong Kong, that place is digital, you know, advertisements, billboards, train stations, is digital. Like for example, the usage of our phones, we use maybe 20% of our phones.
Some of us don't even know the capacity of what our phones can do.
Exactly. So I would say it won't be so far the transition in the next 10 years, but we need to look at innovation. You know, where if I'll be advising a young person wanting to start up, I'll be saying look at innovation. Like Mr. Gito touched on AI. Look at businesses that go along those sites, but don't go with too much speed. But look at doing something or creating something along those sides. You understand? Like applications. At least these days we know how to adjust with applications. You know, all the people can use e-hailing system. You know, can download and say, no, I'm waiting for a ride. So, yeah, maybe for somebody who wants to do something in the next 10 years, they can look at doing AI and incorporating it with business. Yeah.
Speaking of places like China, Hong Kong, Singapore, who are like modernizing their countries digitally and stuff, né? South Africa now, in terms of the economy, in terms of, solidifying the rent, I think we're gonna go spiral now. Because I don't know, I'm the only one who's been noticing this, né? Have you noticed that there are a lot of Americans and Europeans who are coming to South Africa, and they are making the battlefield for us even worse? Because we are going there to a battle carrying knives. They are coming with nuclear weapons. These European guys, like from Luxembourg and all these rich countries, from Europe, look at them coming to South Africa. Let's say a 20 million euro investment in South Africa, coming to fight Morona Ranganga 350 and say I wanna start a business. Let's look at it this way. Let's say what a farming business. To break point, you need $1 million rent. And like 20 million euros. How is it gonna affect the rent, and how is it gonna affect us as common South Africans to survive and eat every day? Because there's a fluctuation of Americans and Europeans coming to South Africa.
Yeah, it's a bit tough because now you want us to fight a battle that started a long time ago. Our parents already opened up for those people, and our grandparents and our grand-grandparents, you understand? So for the young generations, now I would say let's be wise enough. Sometimes you can befriend someone as if you are befriending them, but just to overcome them. So when these people come, they're always looking for partners around here. So let it not be a fight. You can't fight somebody who's holding $20 million with 350 grand, but just be making partners with them. Just be close to them. Look how you can. They don't know places. Havana Makwala Khosana, for example. So just try to do partnerships. Now that's what I would say, for you to be competitive. Then later on you can learn how they do it, where they source the things, because most of these European countries, they source still at China, and so learn how they do things, learn how they source the things that they are selling and all that, and then later on now you can be on a competitive stage or scale. But for now, let's just try to be in partners or form partnerships with this big giants that are coming this side. I don't know what Mr. Kitso says about that.
In terms of economy and stuff,
I think when you touch on the issue of economy, policies are very important. Most of the policies in South Africa needs to be reviewed in order to accommodate the international policies. Yes, we know that most of the business policies that South Africa, they do accommodate. They are in the same standard, or rather the policies they are in the same standard as the international policies compared to other African countries. But other things, the efficiency of the government and how they implement projects, it's very important, because now you're dealing with a country that functions on a 24-hour clock, and you are a country that functions on an 8-hour clock. That thing is a very important thing that you need to consider, revisit the policies and rewrite it and be able to support the SMEs so that they can be able to play in a landscape that can accommodate everyone. So it's very important that the policies need to change. Everything starts with the policy. Everything goes back, and again, in terms of the support that you give to the SMEs in terms of how do they execute, and it gives a better feel for local SMEs in South Africa.
Yeah, and how do you feel this thing, independence, Western Cape and Cape Town?
I think earlier on our engagement, we touched on systems. Like when people create systems, systems govern the people.
Yeah.
So I really don't have a problem. I'm in Northwest, bro. So they can make their own country. I would say, like, I'm gonna say again, like, from our great grandparents, from our parents, and all that, there was this thing between blacks and whites, apartheid era, and all that. So it has always been there, and it will always be there, no matter how much we try to move and shift from it. The transition is there. We're trying to rub our shoulders together, but it's still visible. In the competitive space, in the mining space, when you try to tender this, that's still that Kalanyana dominance there. You understand? So these people always want themselves to be amongst themselves alone. So I really don't have a problem with them. Even the country that is there, Ghana baby it's in that country, I want inside the country.
Oh.
Yeah, that one. I don't have a problem with that. It doesn't bother me anyhow. As long as they don't make it in my place where I stay, But it's fine. Let them do their own thing. Now what I just don't want them to take our minerals and run away with them. I would wish we capacitate ourselves as local SMMEs, as we've been talking about business. We capacitate ourselves until the way whereby we have manufacturing plants, manufacturing places, that we develop ourselves and we no longer lean on other people. Because the thing that makes us scared when they say they want to do their own thing is because we are leaning on them too much, and we are not capacitated enough, So let us develop ourselves. That when somebody's trying to leave you don't really matter about it. Yeah.
And these people, they can say to us for yes, we're going to put independence, go to Western Cape, and so Ronava fucking imagine if we decided to guys, that independence.
Yeah.
Do you know how much it will be impact?
Yeah.
It will impact the economy of South Africa.
Exactly.
Yeah. Molefe, where do you see it? Especially Rona Bafoking. Let's say Bafoking Bar Rona Rat, South Africa. Rona independent.
Remember in the 80s, prior to the 80s, Northwest was the country. Because it was a country, it's a very tricky question in terms of the policymakers of the country. It's not an overnight thing. It's not an overnight thing. So yes, they can try it, they can do it, but the question is the sustainability of the country. Will they be able to sustain themselves? Will it benefit all the majority, or will it benefit the minority of the people living in Western Cape? We're looking at balancing the landscape, but now will it balance the landscape? Because now, yes, minority will benefit because Western Cape is rich in the likes of rich people are there. But now the question is, are those by Longhore they are the poorest of the poorest? Are they gonna benefit? So that is a very important question to start off with. You understand? So are you trying to focus on those with big pockets or what? So that is the most important question. Yeah.
And in closing, how do you guys feel about government trying to privatize some of their assets, SAA and all those things? Because for me, let's say if we sell Eskom, if the government decides to sell Eskom, they're not gonna sell it to the people. They're gonna sell it to that billionaire. Who's going to rise up the tariffs? Who's not gonna care for Honalmutoja 350?
Yeah.
So are government really looking into for it? Yes, if we privatize SAA, if we privatize Eskom and stuff like that, how is it gonna affect a common person?
Yeah, it will affect us very much. But if you can look at the past few years, maybe a decade or so, a lot of things have been privatized. from your mere cleaning. No, from your mere cleaning of the municipal area. It's not being cleaned by a government worker. It's a tender. You know. So I believe South Africa is privatized already. Exactly my point. So it's already privatized. So let them give it to somebody who can give us answers. Right now, as civilians, we are looking for answers. We're looking for an answer of electricity. We need 24/7 running electricity. We need 24/7 running water. Let them privatize them and bill us. It's okay. South Africa is already privatized. Everything is tender this side. But I'm saying let it be responsible. Let it not be looting as obvious. Let it not be the Gupta story. Let it not be the Eskom story saga, but let it be done in the right way. I believe we can still do things right. We can still have proper systems like Molefe said. So let's do right by the people. Let the government do right by the people.
And Mr. Molefe, responsibilities to government to ensure that the common people is taken care of. What do you think? Okay, what are the top 3 things that you think government in privatizing such assets?
It starts with accountability. Everything starts with accountability. If there's accountability in place and you have somebody who can be accountable, I think everything will fall into place. The most important thing, before we can jump into other questions, before we talk about other things, you need to have somebody accountable. Plain and simple. If you can have somebody who's accountable and be able to work and produce results, then yes, people they just want service, that's it. Who's doing it, they don't care. They just want service, that's it.
Once again, we'll have a part 2. We're gonna involve Tseho in this one.
No problem at all.
But once again, thank you guys for coming. Thank you coming. Thank you, Mr. Molefe, for bringing your insight. Thank you. I wanna lead business for you. Thank you for your time.
Opportunity, sir.
And I hope we'll have a part 2. In closing, I know he's into Bluey. I know Ukela musical weird, but I wanna hear from you. Any other musical pleasures or gospel?
No, I listen to everything. Beautiful music, well-crafted music. I listen to. I'm a musician, proud.
And last question, then before we leave, do you think radio is dead?
No. Radio is much alive.
Yeah,
I listen to radio. 10% of the day. People listen to radio. People call the radio station. When I'm listening to the radio, people are busy calling, so it's very much alive.
I hope so. I hope it grows, because I still believe radio can make it. He's a radio guy. Once again and again, it's been Minister K, Kitso Molefe business. And in closing, guys, Tolopeli Internet Cafe, Tolopeli Business Enterprise. We're gonna give you a link and subscription. Go classy, look at it. They do printing. They help you get business assets. Help you get company certificates, SARS, everything. Mr. Molefe is one of the people who's leading it. Anything that you need to know, go on Facebook, Twitter, and I'm gonna send everything, the link below. Then follow it. Again and again, we out.